Today we're going to go record shopping in REYKJAVIK, Iceland, but before we hit the stores, a few of them we want to hit in this rain, we're going to go downstairs to the Punk Rock Museum. That's right, REYKJAVIK, Iceland has a punk rock museum, or Punksfriend Iceland. The museum is in a former underground public restroom. The Sex Pistols' Johnny Rotten was even there on opening day. I went in and met the curator, who's quite the character. I paid my $12 admission fee and walked around. These former bathroom stalls are covered with photos, old show flyers, stickers, all which tell the story of Icelandic punk. It seemed to start after the UK band The Stranglers played Iceland in May of 1978. That show seemed to ignite a spark that the locals took and ran with. The various stalls cover the first 15 years or so of Icelandic punk. You can walk around and read in great detail that story from the late 70s until the early 90s. Of course, it details Iceland's largest musical export, the sugar cubes. The last room has a drum set, but I didn't want to disturb the dog there and the other visitors, so I didn't play. But I did try on an old leather jacket that brought back memories of when I wore one every day in my life in the early 90s during the height of my punk rock years, you might say. And from the ceiling hangs headphones where you can sample the bands of today and yesterday. Iceland's modern punk scene is still going strong. The Punk Museum is open 7 days a week and well worth at least an hour of your time when visiting the city of REYKJAVIK. Hey, thanks for coming back to this video. Of course, I'm in REYKJAVIK, Iceland. I was last here about 12 years ago, and I'll tell you, a lot has changed. I think when I was last here, maybe they had one record shop. Now there's at least 6 in the area that I'm at. It's unbelievable. I asked the owner there at the Punk Rock Museum and asked other people. They said probably the best store is Lucky Records. Of course, all these stores are great, but people really seem to want me to go to Lucky Records. So I went there. Big store. Used DVDs, CDs, new and used. Records, new and used. It's one of these big shops that have a little bit of everything. World music, classical, of course, jazz, blues, rock, reggae, all kinds. I spent an hour and a half in there, and I probably looked at 1/100th of what they had. They had a bunch of singles I could just flip through and everything. So what I got there for $500, Iceland is just like between $3 and $4 US dollars. Got Men at Work, CBS Records, Be Good Johnny, really good song. This is the good 80s band. I love Men at Work, like Flock of Seagulls, Berlin, Men at Work. To me, will always be more than just like a 1 hit or 2 or even sometimes 3 hit 80s band. I really love listening to their whole albums and stuff. So yeah, this is good. Came out in '82. This is the Holland pressing of Be Good Johnny. Also got Sweet, Fox on the Run. Again, just a few bucks. My favorite song from Sweet, and this is, I think, a UK pressing of this. Majority of the pressings you'll see in Iceland, of course, obviously, UK, somewhere in Scandinavia, Germany, stuff. This is a record I bought, and I thought it was going to be like, oh, let me just try some weird band. Maybe this band's from Sweden or something. And then after I got back to the hotel room here, I looked them up. They're actually from Seattle. So a Seattle glam rock band. This came out in '89, I believe. And this is DC LaCroix, about 18 bucks US it cost me. And it's just like your average heavy metal kind of band, hair band kind of thing. DC LaCroix. This is Living by the Sword. I think this is their 4th and final album, I want to say. This came out in '88. The group formed, I think, like '83, '84. Faster Pussycat, another 80s band. It gets lumped in, of course, the hair metal and all that stuff. This is their 2nd album. This came out in 1989. This is Wake Me When It's Over. Again, a UK pressing of it. House of Pain was a slow song off of this. This didn't break them as big as their debut album. But I've always wanted it on vinyl in the US. I think maybe pressed in the US. I don't know. But of course, usually you have to find it as UK pressing. You got to pay at least $20 for shipping and handling. So I might as well just purchase it for about $21 US here. I could bring it home on a plane. Honeymoon Suite, band from Ontario, Canada. I've always liked them. This was about 14 US dollars, so 1900 krona, whatever they call the currency here. I think kronas. Honeymoon Suite, Stay in the Light. It's a song off their first album, the debut album, Honeymoon Suite. That album was known for New Girl Now, which has a live version of New Girl Now on this EP, so yeah, I like it.
This freaked me out. This is a band, I've known these dudes since the early 90s. When this album came out, we were on the same album label, Johan's Face from Chicago, so Oblivion was on with them. And the owner was like, oh, do you want a version of the new album? And I grabbed a CD because I thought CDs were really cool. And I've always wanted it on vinyl. And maybe at one point I did have it on vinyl, and I let a friend have it and keep it because I've always promoted this band. I've always thought they were great. They should have broken it way big. They never did. The band's called Not Rebecca. And they had their first release that you won't ever find was on cassette. This one was on, like I said, LP and CD. It was only pressed in the U.S. and then Johan's Face probably pressed under 1,000, I would think, of these. So yeah, this is to see it here in Iceland. I was like, what the hell? I've been looking for this, so I bought it up. Yeah, if you like power pop, pop punk, just great. Called Twin City Obituary by Not Rebecca. Like I said, it's a great record. And then for like 1,000 krona, which is like, I just keep saying krona like it's a beer, krona, which is just like 6 or 7 US. They have these compilations, these 80s comps. But some of the bands, of course, I knew, like you have your Culture Club and Flock of Seagulls, but some of the bands I don't know, and I'm hoping they're either like, probably not Icelandic bands, but probably like, Sweden or somewhere around there, maybe German bands. They threw on along with the bands that we knew from the 80s. So this has that big Icelandic hot dog, which actually just had one like an hour ago. And this compilation is another kind of the same thing. It's Paul Young, Tracy Allman, Ice Cold Works, Culture Club again, so a lot of English bands. And then they threw in some other bands. For just a few bucks, yeah, might as well pick it up. This one was pressed, I think, in Germany. So yeah, I had a great time at Lucky Records. Excellent time. Highly suggest. If you only have time for one, like you're in a layover or you don't want to go record shopping, you're here for other tourist things like seeing the beautiful scenery in Iceland, I would say go to Lucky Records. I had a little more time today to go to a few of them. Went down the street. I would love to say I knew how the hell to pronounce this street's name, but I don't. This shop, it was a really small shop. It's really cool. It had like this Pink Floyd motif on the outside. And it was known for more like heavy metal and punk. It had some video games for sale there. The first room of the 2-room of the shop was CDs, a lot of used and new CDs, and then the rear part was a bunch of vinyl and stuff. So if you ever poke your head in there, make sure you go to the back if you want the vinyl. Anyway, I love Halloween. I have this on vinyl, so it's love to get it on CD, which I did here. It was just like 12 US, so not too bad for a used CD of the heavy metal kind. This is their 5th studio album. It came out in 1991. Halloween Pink Bubbles Go Ape. It's more about poppier stuff than the Keeper of the Seven Keys 1 and 2. Speaking about Keeper of the Seven Keys 1 and 2 by Halloween, which is epic stuff. If you love Iron Maiden and you've just always kind of heard of Halloween, they're a big band from Germany, for sure try out Keeper of the Seven Keys Part 1 and 2. That's when they had that singer that sounds more like Iron Maiden. They've had other singers along, and now or recently they did a tour with like all the singers on stage. It was a great, fantastic tour. So this was about 25 bucks US. This was Dr. Steen 7-inch. This is from France. This is the French pressing of this, and it's got 2 other songs on side B. So a single of Dr. Steen. Another CD I picked up. This is a local Icelandic band. I want to say Skalmold. I have no idea, man. I don't know. When I knew I was coming here, I did a little research. Like, what's a good punk band from Iceland? What's a good heavy metal band from Iceland? And this is the kind of the sing-along heavy metal. Wear a sword and a hammer, Thor. They've been here since 2009, and this is their debut album. I figured I would start. They just released an album. It's in all the stores. It's on vinyl and CD, but this is on CD. Like I said, about 18 US bucks. Bell Door, the debut album from Skalmold. It's good. Everybody put your little horns on, get a hammer, smash a sheep. I don't know. It's gonna be good heavy metal. Led Zeppelin. This would be great if it was the turquoise misprint pressing worth, I don't know, about $1,000, like $1,500, or the unmisprinted turquoise version worth about $800. This is I believe this is neither. This is just the blue ink. I believe these were made around 2010 in Spain. This is an unofficial bootleg thing of the Led Zeppelin, probably trying to look like the turquoise editions. I just thought it was pretty cool to pick up. It was like 40 US. I may have overpaid, who knows. But it's got the cool label on it. So yeah, I already have like 3 versions of it, or I have 2 versions of this. I have a early pressing, and then I have a repressing that came out recently, and now I have this pressing. So how much Led Zeppelin can you get? Well, a lot. How many more times will I buy this Led Zeppelin debut? No more. I think I'm good with that. So that was the G store, we'll call it. That was a great time. For a while, the Pink Street Boys were put out by the REYKJAVIK record store, was their label. Now they're on, I believe, 12 Tonar, which is another record store. I went today, but I didn't purchase anything, so I won't show anything from them. But this was from Bad Taste Records, which is just kitty corner from the hotel I'm staying at. I'm staying at the Canopy Hotel here in REYKJAVIK, Iceland. And this is the Pink Street Boys. This is probably the most, I would think, I don't know, I'm not Icelandic, but I think their most popular punk rock band. These guys, this is their 4th album. I believe they were formed around 2010. This is from 2019. Like I said, this is their 4th and latest release. Helglar? I don't know, man. I don't know. But yeah, it's Icelandic band. I'm assuming this is pressed here in Iceland. REYKJAVIK Record Shop is the label here. So maybe they were on 12 Tonar, or now they're on something with the 2 shops. I don't know. And then for the hell of it, those are a few bucks. 19. How old was the Vietnam soldier? Average age, 19. You all know this one? Well, my wife doesn't. Looking at me like I'm an idiot. From 1985, Paul Hardcastle, of course, 19, awesome song. 19. So that was it. 3 record shops. I'm going to go probably 1 more maybe before I leave here, but I hope you liked the video. Like I said, Punk Rock Museum was great. The record store is great. I can't believe how this city is just blown up with tourists and shops everywhere. It's kind of lost a little bit of the soul, I guess. It's not as quaint, I guess, as it used to be. It's really touristy now, but if you have a chance, you're in Iceland, and of course you're in REYKJAVIK, besides doing the Blue Lagoon thing, hit these record stores. Some awesome stuff. Thanks for watching.